guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ham and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about basically my whole watercolor journey. I'll be showing you all of the artworks that I can show you, but what I can't show you are some of my commissions because most of these I've forgotten if I asked for permission to share them, but these are all of them, so it's a lot of commissions over 2 years. And these are just some of the paintings that I've kept because I scanned these and then send them to my clients. So some of them I actually did ship. This one I did ask for permission to share, so it's fine that you guys are seeing this right now. But yeah, it's also a lot of drawings that are part of my journey. I just can't show them to you guys and I'm sorry. So yeah, let's start. January of 2019, I got my very first watercolor set, and it was this Sakura pocket field sketchbox. And this is my very first painting with it. This is just something that is sort of like a test run. I really just tried to see how watercolors would feel. I wasn't trying so much with the blending. As you can see, it's very sloppy. I also used white pens on top for our highlights. Back when I thought highlights would just fix everything. But yeah, for my very first painting, I really don't think this was that bad. And then this is my second one. This is a painting of a church that I saw in Iloilo when I was vacationing there with my husband. I really liked the textures I did for the walls right here. I was trying to get a feel for the layering on this. So yeah, I really like this one. This one is my very first actual try with portrait. I really liked how this one turned out, but it's very important to note that a lot of the finishing is in pencil, so I wouldn't really consider this a full watercolor sketch. It had a lot of help from the colored pencils right here and also my graphite pencil on top. This one is the same. There's a lot of pencils. If you can see where it's shining right now, there's a lot of pencils on top, and there's also even more colored pencils on this one than on the last one, so I can't really say that it's a full watercolor piece. It's one of my earlier works, but it's still one of my favorites. I really love how this one turned out. And then this one is my very first try with 100% cotton paper. As you can see, I went overboard with the layering for the background. I just really wanted to see how this paper would take all that layering with all the dark colors, and I really loved the result. It was when I first started to see how much of a difference 100% cotton paper would feel compared to my previous ones, and I really liked it. This one is me trying to see if looser paintings would also work for the cotton paper, and yeah, so this is how it turned out. There's still a lot of colored pencils on top of this one, and for this one too, it's the same. I really liked how this one turned out though. I love the colors. This is a redraw of one of the illustrations from one of the childhood books that I had. I don't even remember what story it was. I just remember this drawing on there and I tried to redo it. This is me trying to see if I can do sort of my usual sketches over a very light watercolor gradient. I love that this one turned out. I did have a lot of help with my white colored pencils for the highlights right here, but I really learned a lot about how to do gradients on this, and I think ended up looking good. This one is me just trying to do a really loose sketch over a really loose painting, but I really liked it. It's just something about colored inks over loose watercolors when you're so used to just painting over them with black ink. So yeah, this one is really special. And then this one too, I tried to see how it would look if I did a kind of a loose sketch, but this time with my pencil. I actually really liked how this one turned out too. But all these little orange accents I did with colored pencils as well. This one is just another one on my Baohong watercolor paper. And there's a lot of graphite on this, so. And this one is my first try with big paper. I don't know, it just looks really funny to me because this was supposed to be a self-portrait, and yeah, that's supposed to be my face. Look at that nose. That's not my nose at all. This one I didn't finish. I really want to redo this one. I think maybe next time I would use a masking fluid on top of where the leaves are, so the outline for the leaves would look really crisp and detailed. and I want to pump up the saturation for the skin and really try to make it look dark and vibrant so it would hold a nice contrast for those sleeves. Yeah, I'm gonna try to redo this again, maybe with some of the watercolors that I just got. This one is so weird. I don't know. I don't like how this one turned out. I guess it's just because there's so much colored pencil on top, and I don't like the color combination. It's a lovely photo though. My reference photo for this is really beautiful, so I think that was what really saved this painting. And then this one I really liked. I just did the sketch with my black pen and then tried this like beam of light effect where all of my colors would be focused on. So yeah, I really like this one. And then this next one was me trying to see what kind of textures I can do for the face on top of my watercolors. This was done with my graphite still. This one I never finished. This was supposed to be a ripped paper effect. I think I can do this one better now. Yeah, but when I started this, I just didn't have the experience that I needed to pull it off, what I had in my head, so. And these are just some sketches I did from Reddit Gets Drawn. This is someone's cat that I did. These aren't even watercolor sketches, only this one maybe. And now that I'm looking at it, these are both pen sketches that I did some watercolor backgrounds for, just so I can separate one from the other. And then this one I think aged okay. I really like this one. This was a variation of this one, but now that I'm looking at it, I could have done some things a little bit different, but I really still like how this one looks. And then this one is also from a beauty shot. I really like this one too. I wanted to see if I can do I wanted to try something different with dark skin, because usually when someone has a darker skin tone, I would go for very cool colors like cool purples for her undertones, but this time I tried to see if I can do something sort of a warm skin tone, and I really like the colors on this one. And this one is a painting that I did that I uploaded on my channel. This one actually came before this one. These ones there are some really light watercolor sketches on this sketchbook. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you guys all of these because you've already seen them if you've looked at my sketchbook tour. So yeah, and I just really tried to get more comfortable with watercolors. That's why I was painting on my usual sketchbook. These are just some of them. I really love how these ones turned out. These are still done with my Sakura watercolor sketchbox. Here are some of my sketches. So yeah, you guys have already seen these, but it's part of my progress, so that's why I'm showing it to you. Also have some sketches on this sketchbook. Let me try. Like this one, I did the outlines first with watercolors, and then I did the inking after. So this was practice for me. And then this one is one of my favorite watercolor sketches. But yeah, some of my favorite watercolor sketches are on this sketchbook, like this one, and then these two. I really like that it's kind of minimalist. It's not a lot of watercolors, and it's working well with the inks on top. So yeah, these are some of them. And then this one I actually want to blow up and frame because that's how much I like it. Yeah, there's even more. I think. No, that's the last one. And then I have some of these bigger paintings with my Canson XL watercolor paper. So I really wanted to go back to that Canson XL because I was drawing so much with the cotton paper that I was missing the very smooth surface on this one. So yeah, these are some of my biggest paintings. I really like how this one turned out. These inks are done with my brush pen, and I love that some of these highlights I just left blank. And this is another one that I did. I really tried to use this kind of blue. It's a very cool greenish blue, and I never use it. So with that one, I actually used this blue for the shadows on her, and it ended up looking okay. This one is one of the very first paintings that I've ever filmed, and if you go on my Instagram, you'll probably see. I tried to experiment with the shadows, and I tried to see if I can make them really sharp and graphic with my brush pen, and this is how it turned out. This one is a fan art of Amelia Clark as the Mother of Dragons. I'll just say the Mother of Dragons because I never really watched Game of Thrones. This was a request. I wanted it to look really raw with the shading on her face because the photo that I was looking for, it had a lot of emotion, and I tried to capture that with my G-Tech pen, and I really like how this one turned out. I would probably go over this with warmer colors to really finish it off if I could. This one is a combination that I never tried. Again, this is watercolors with Sharpies, and because a lot of the lines from the Sharpies are really showing, I did the same thing with my pen work on top. I really tried to get it to be really messy, but I think this one turned out okay. This one is one of my favorites. I really like the color that I did for her skin because it's skin colors that I don't like to try out. I did some greens and blues for her skin instead of yellows and purples like I normally do. And I did the same thing for the background just to pull it together, and because it was looking a little too green, I did the ink work with my red pen, and I think it was a good decision. I like the outcome. This one is a redraw from one of my old notebooks, and the cover was really cute, so I tried to redo it. This one is really tragic. Hope I did the background, but it was still a good attempt. Oh, this one, I really like this one because I love the combination of this reddish brown and this really cool green. I just wish I did the subjects better because I really like the background, and I even like this splashes of blue for the flowers. This one is actually of someone I know in real life. I tried to do another gradient. This is my purple and orange, and I don't know if she was wearing those same colors for her glasses, but I tried to use those same colors for the whole painting. I just wish there was more color variations for her hair. This one I think is Saoirse Ronan. Yeah, most of these paintings, some of the things I can say about them are that my color palette was too limited, because on this kind of see only 2 colors. I think it would have done better with another one just to cut through those colors being way too dominant. And then this one, I don't know, I really liked how it turned out at first, but now that I'm looking at it, I love the background for this one. It's nice and dark. I don't think I did her too well. And these ones are still some of my sketches from Reddit Gets Drawn. This one is also from Reddit. I really love how she turned out. So after doing so many paintings with my Canson XL and getting used to that smooth texture, I tried to go back to my Baohong cotton paper, and I came up with this one. I really liked it. This is what I meant when I said there needs to be more variations for maybe something like their hair, because this one started off with orange and then ended with blue, and those kinds of transitions don't really need to happen for the whole painting, but I think it's a nice touch and it finishes the painting off really well. This one is for Reddit Gets Drawn. When I first finished this, I was really proud of it, but now it still looks good. She just maybe looks a little too washed out. And then this one I think is really cute. It's also for Reddit Gets Drawn. I really love the colors I did for her hair and for her clothes. There's only maybe 3 colors that I used for this one, and I think I used them well. This one is just really cute. It's a really quick sketch that I did. It's also for Reddit Gets Drawn. I really like the colors that I used for this. Ooh, this one was a really cool photo that was posted on Reddit Gets Drawn too. And it's not finished. There's not a lot of detail to it. I really like that you can't really see what's going on when you first look at it. Like maybe at first glance you won't even see that these are 3 people sleeping on top of each other. And I really like that. So yeah, this is one of my favorite Reddit Gets Drawn pieces. I know I'm gonna start to sound really redundant, but this is also one of my favorite watercolor paintings. I really love the colors I did for this one. These splashes right here actually weren't intentional. When I paint, I would have the my glass of water right here. Every time I would clean out my brush with the lid on the glass, it would make splashes on the paper, and I never noticed it after I was almost done with it. So I just went with it and did a few more. I think it turned out really well. I even used a sepia brush pen for this, and I think it was a good decision too. One thing that sucks is that the eye on this bird is a little misplaced. It should be closer to her beak, I think. This one is for Red It Gets Drawn. I love the colors on this one. I just don't love the finished painting. This one I posted on my channel too, one of my earlier videos. And then this one is also for my channel. I used my neon colored pencils for this one. I never used those. This one is commission work that I did that I asked for permission to share because I really love how this one turned out. It's just 2 colors, and I did do that on purpose for this one because I didn't want to distract from the 2 of them with some really wild colors. So yeah, this is one of my commission works. This one is more of an experiment. I did the brush pen line work first, and then I did the colors. This one is work for Red It Gets Drawn too. I really love the colors for this one. I love this dark blue with this orange that was peeking through. I even like how the brush pen work looks a little jagged on the very rough texture of the paper. This one is something I never shared because it's not finished and I don't like it at all. I don't like that she's blending too well with the background. This one is actually, it's for Red It Gets Drawn too. But I filmed this one and it's up on my channel still. I really liked how this one turned out. I like that it's a full piece with the background and all that. I filmed this one for my channel too. I just really like how the coat went, but I don't like having anything else on that painting. This one I did on my Canson XL, and because it's such a smooth paper, I tried to see if I can use my very soft brush pen for the line work on this one, and I really love the outcome. If you can see the way I lined her hair, it looks good. These are just lines that you can't really see if the brushes are stiff, like how my usual brushes are. And then this one is probably the only painting that I did in 2 years that doesn't have a person on it. I filmed this one, I just don't like how the footage turned out and I just scrapped it. This one is my last Canson XL painting. This could have been one of my favorites. I really like how the line work and the way I painted her clothes looked, but her face I think I just overdid, and her hand I think it's too big and too heavy. So now this is my first actual watercolor sketchbook. It's 100% cotton paper still, so it's a good paper to paint on. This one is my very first painting on this sketchbook. It's for Red It Gets Drawn. It's a Redditor and his cat. I think it looks so cute. And then this one I tried to experiment with the colors more. This is also from Red It Gets Drawn. And then this one I really love so much. It looks like it's not a lot of colors, but it's actually 3 or 4. I think this is my very first painting with my White Nights watercolors, and it's just so vibrant that, as you can see, I really love how the outcome looked. This one is also done with my White Nights. The process for this one is also up on my channel, but that was before I took my channel seriously, so I don't even know if that was filmed on landscape or not. Both of these are also from Red It Gets Drawn. This is of a Redditor's daughter. This was a really quick sketch that I did, and so was this one. I think it looks so cute. Look at his cat. This one I also have up on my channel. I think it's just because I don't use green a lot that when I do, it always surprises me that the colors turned out okay. These are the colors that I usually go for, the purples and the yellow. But as you can see, these ones didn't turn out as good as the ones before. This one I also have up on my channel. I really like how she turned out, but this one I never posted because I wanted to do it again because I really love the colors on this one. I just never did. This one is also done with my White Nights and my very big brush pen. I love the colors on her dress for this one. This one I can't show you because this is a commission work, but this one is also for Red It Gets Drawn that I forgot to show the original poster because I couldn't find the post anymore. This was just a really quick sketch again, but I really like how she turned out. This is mostly just my black brush pen and some watercolor splashes here and there, but I think it's good. Then this one I have up on my channel. I really love how she turned out. To this day, I still think that the colors on her skin are the best that I ever painted. And this one is something I never finished again. I just don't like how the initial layers look, so I just abandoned it. And this one is actually a scene sketch that I never painted on. I'm planning on painting that one soon. This one is something that I drew on with my watercolor pencils. I just never loved watercolor pencils at all after that. This one is also for It Gets Drawn, but for some weird reason, this one doesn't look like watercolor. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but his face looks like I did it with gouache. I can't show you this one again because it's also a commission work. But this one I really liked. I wasn't so proud of it after I was done with it, but now that I'm looking at it, I actually like it the way it is. Yeah, these ones are just some figure sketches that I did. These are done with my watercolor pencils. Again, I really tried to love it, but it just never worked out for me. This one isn't even watercolors. I did this with my highlighters. If you want to see the video for that, it's also up on my channel. This one is done with watercolors, and I really liked the colors on this one. This yellow I never get to use so much because I just think it's so bright that I just don't use it much, but I think it works okay on this one. And then this one is so cute. The photo I found was on my Pinterest as usual. I really love the muted colors on this one. These four are sketches that I did for my channel. This one is one of my favorites on this sketchbook. I've been getting a lot of comments telling me that this reminded them of Ellie from The Last of Us. I couldn't really say because I don't play that video game. If it is a video game or if it's a show, I don't watch it. This one is a very big fail. I did edit it on my Procreate, but this one I really like. I love the colors on this one. I love the colors on this one. I even liked how the bicycle was casting shadows on her skirt. And then these two are from Pinterest as well. This one I have up on my channel. I even did a tutorial for this one, so if you guys want to draw this one too, you guys can see it up on my uploads. And then this one I never posted. Sharp watercolors that I did a very rough pen sketch on. I don't know. I think I like this one. I just don't think it's worthy to post. This one is for my Mijello watercolors review. I used all of my colors on that set. And this one I really like. I used pens that I haven't used in a long time because I don't like the feel of them. I think they were called my uni pins. I just know that they are waterproof, and I don't like how they feel. They just feel so rough when you're drawing with them. So I tried to do a painting that would still do them justice, and this is what I came up with. I actually have the real-time painting process for this one up on my channel too, if you guys want to see. These are my swatches for my Mijello set, a pure pigment set. And this one is my very last painting on this sketchbook. I never finished it. I don't know why, because I really like the colors. I just never got around to it. I may finish it soon if I have the time. And then my very last watercolor paintings are on this sketchbook. This is actually a hand-bound sketchbook that I ordered from craftel.ph. I really love this one. The paper is Fabriano artistico. This one I never showed anyone because I don't like how his face turned out, but I really did love the colors on this painting. This one I have up on my channel. I really love the process for this one. This one it was for a demo that I did on negative painting. And this one is of Elizabeth from Pride and Prejudice. I also have the process for this one up on my channel too. This one I did with my, oh wow, I did with children's watercolors. Actually, the colors actually held up pretty well. I expected them to have faded out and dulled out by now, but it still looks kind of good. And this one I did with the same watercolors that I started with, my Sakura watercolors, just so you guys can see what my progress is with my very first painting and this one. I don't know, I still like it. I actually did this one last night. And then this last one is also unfinished. This is actually a practice for painting straight ahead without any sketches, and I'm really starting to like this one. I may show you guys what the end result looks like if I finish it or before I'm done editing this video. So yeah, I hope this wasn't too long for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. My next video is going to be about painting movie scenes with gouache, and the movie is going to be Parasite. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned, and I'll see you again soon.